A woman approaches, they resort to aggression. This is the method many Japanese men have been using to deal with feminism. Feminism in Japan has evolved from heated online discussions to physical confrontations in the real world. Faced with extreme feminism, which has turned into misandry, Japanese men have decided to evolve as well, and they've created what they call the samurai duel. In short, many Japanese feminists began accusing men of sexual harassment unfairly, without any evidence. The male response was clear. Whenever a woman approaches suddenly, the man prepares for a confrontation. They resort to aggression because, if accused of harassment, they could face up to 3 years in prison. But if it's just a fight, the sentence is only 15 days. 3 years versus 15 days. Japanese men know well which is the better choice. But how did Japanese feminism reach this point? And how are men reacting?
So guys, today's video comes from the All Asian Dilemmas channel. Their channel will be linked to the description of the video, so you can go check them out and support them. Yeah, things are getting really bad over in Japan. Really bad over in Japan. Women pushed men to their breaking point, and now Japanese men are not messing around. And don't be surprised when this spreads to the rest of the world. Why are Japanese men now resorting to going to, basically becoming confrontational and, taking on the samurai strategy when it comes to women? And how is this going to affect women going forward? Watch the end of the video for all of these questions to be answered. Don't forget to follow us on Rumble. And, if you guys want to learn how to survive and thrive without a job or college degree, visit Men Walking Away community, link to the description of the video, menwalkingaway.com.
Welcome to All Asian Dilemmas, and today we're going to analyze how feminism in Japan has evolved into physical clashes between men and women. Recently, on a Japanese subway, a girl was so tired that she accidentally bumped into the man sitting next to her. His reaction? He grabbed his phone and hit her hard on the head with it. The girl woke up startled from the pain. A video of this moment went viral, and many people criticized the man. It was just a light touch. Why be so petty? Even if he didn't want to be touched, that doesn't justify hitting her. Others went further, questioning his masculinity. What kind of man attacks a woman over something so trivial? Social media exploded with debates, with hashtags like #ViolentSubway trending for days. But beyond the criticism, many Japanese men understood his actions. For them, the issue is simple. They don't want to risk ruining their lives. After all, in recent years, thousands of harassment cases have been reported in Japan, but more than half were proven false. Many radical feminists make accusations just because a man looked at them or tried to strike up a conversation. There are stories of men accused simply for offering help to a lost woman on the street or for accidentally brushing against someone on a crowded train. Common situations in a country where public transport is cramped and inevitably chaotic. And in Japanese courts, a woman's word is often enough. Even without any evidence, if a woman insists she was harassed, her chances of winning the case are high. And what happens to the man falsely accused? He could face 3 years in prison, pay fines that drain all his savings, and after being released, lose his job and even his family. In a society where reputation is everything, being labeled a harasser is a social death sentence. Japanese companies, known for their strictness, rarely keep employees with criminal records, even if the accusation was questionable. That's why the man on the subway didn't want to take any chances. He couldn't push her with his hand or say anything. Any gesture could be interpreted as aggression or harassment. So he used his phone to push her away, an object that, in theory, wouldn't leave serious marks. Because no one wants to risk their life over a simple touch. This case wasn't isolated. In Tokyo, a man was filmed pushing a woman with his backpack after she approached to ask something. In Osaka, another threw a water bottle at a young woman who bumped into him. These incidents, though shocking, reflect the growing fear among Japanese men. Moreover, some radical feminists in Japan have started using false accusations to extort money from men. Before, men were always at a disadvantage. They had to prove their innocence after being accused, something nearly impossible in a system that favors the alleged victim's word. But now, many have decided to act preemptively. If a feminist approaches to falsely accuse them, they strike first. And they do so while avoiding vital areas so that even if the police are called, the case is treated as a common fight, and security cameras, ubiquitous in Japan, always show that the woman approached first. Lawyers report that in such cases, judges tend to be more lenient, imposing light fines or short detentions, while harassment charges lead to harsh punishments. In this new war, women end up at a disadvantage. Despite some radical feminists persisting with their tactics, they face unexpected physical resistance. And ironically, it's ordinary women, those uninvolved with extremism, who suffer the most consequences, whether from accidental bumps or misunderstandings.
See, this is what ends up happening, y'all. It is it's the worst of the bunch that ruin it for everyone else. This is why I often say in a society, you can't have 1% of very bad people. Everyone has to act right. Because if you have 100 million people and 99 million of them are acting right, but 1 million of them, which is only 1%, but that's 1 million bad apples are misbehaving, they can take the entire society down. People need to do the math. Go and do the math, and y'all see that the math is mathing. The math is mathing. So women in Western society, most women are behaving badly today. It's not 1%, it's more than half. It's most women in Western society are behaving badly today. And then they wonder why men are dropping out of society rapidly. Now, of course, in the United States, it's very, very different where a guy bumps into a woman and he's going to jail. Okay. It doesn't take anything. You can't even do that in the United States. Like literally, if it's a woman and it's a small confrontation, no, your butt's going to prison for anything. I mean, women are putting men in prison just because they say that something happened when in regardless they never even met the guy. There was a woman who had this man arrested and thrown in prison for you know unwanted snuggling recently. Many of you guys know the story. It turns out she lied. The man had never I don't think he had even spoken to her. She basically just saw him in a parking lot, thought he was ugly, and decided that because she thought he was ugly he should be in prison. Like that, literally, she saw him, she thought he was ugly, and she thought that because he was ugly, he should be in prison. He was taken, he was locked up. I don't know if he was in there for weeks or months, and he kept on complaining and complaining and complaining, saying it wasn't him. Eventually, the police decided to look at the footage in the Walmart where this evidently happened, the confrontation evidently happened. Finally, they decided to look at the footage, and they saw in the footage this dude never approached her, never spoke to her. She made up the entire damn story. When they confronted her with it, she eventually broke down and admitted that she basically saw him minding his own business, thought he was ugly, and based on her evaluation of his looks, decided that he needed to be in prison. Not because he was necessarily a bad person, but because she did not like the way he looked. He was facing a long time in prison, like decades in prison. She ended up getting something like, I don't know if it was 5 months or less. And this is what women can do to men in Western society. It's crazy. And I've known for so long, what was going on in Japan. I could tell because I am not ethnically Japanese, but culturally I am very much Japanese culturally. I share a lot of their cultural norms, and I know how they think. And when I see what's going on, I'm like, no, I know why these men are avoiding relationships. They don't want to put up with the BS with women in that society. It's not that these men are not interested in physical intimacy. They don't want to deal with the garbage. Okay. And now you can see it's getting to that extremism where these men are now fighting back. They are lashing out, and they're basically they would rather go to jail for something related to a small fight than than end up in prison for 3 to 5 years based on a claim that was not even true. And then if and the Japanese system is very harsh. They have a 98% conviction rate. It's actually quite corrupt. There was the longest serving person on deletion row in Japan was 50 years. It turns out this entire story was fabricated. There was a lot of corruption with the cops, and he basically let him out. His sister never stopped fighting for him, and he spent 50 years or more than 50 years in there. They took his entire life away. He was compensated recently, given something I don't know if it was 1 point something $1 million. He was given a couple million. He was given some money that basically represented $80 for every day he was incarcerated. He can't do anything with that money. He doesn't have much life left. He only has his sister, as far as I know. His everything is pretty much over for him. It took a massive mental toll on him. He's so screwed, and the Japanese don't care. The Japanese have, don't forget, the Japanese are polite, but the Japanese are not kind. And this is the type of garbage we're also seeing in the United States. We've seen for a very long time, and don't expect it to ever get really any better. Don't expect the situation to improve for any of us. It's only going to get worse, and it's sad. I am very sad to see what society has come down to, but modern women are leading the charge, and now this is why men are basically saying, you know what, we're not going to tolerate the garbage anymore. We're not going to put up with it. And guys, that's, listen, if you want to join a community of men that actually care about you, that actually give a damn, go, don't miss out on the Men Walking Away community. If you're ready to take charge for your life, join a dedicated space for men where you can learn how to reclaim your masculinity, travel the world on your terms, make money online, and attract the women that you want. It's also a place to discuss whatever's on your mind. No judgment. Men Walking Away is the community to guide you towards the life you deserve. The community is linked in the description of the video. Join us.
But how did Japanese feminism, once one of the strongest in Asia, fall into this decline? At its peak, Japanese feminists no longer wanted equality. They wanted privileges. And that's how women-only train cars came to be. The measure, implemented in the early 2000s, was a response to high rates of harassment on crowded trains, known as chikan. At the time, it seemed like a victory, a safe space for women in an environment where they felt vulnerable. But over time, the privilege became a symbol of division. Recently, a woman complained on social media that she bought a first-class ticket and found the other 3 passengers were men. She then demanded women-only cars for this type of train too. The railway company refused, arguing that first class was already a controlled environment with no harassment records there. Some criticized her, calling her spoiled. If you want that much privilege, pay for a private train. But what few people know is that in Japan, many women hate women-only cars. When there aren't enough seats, women in regular cars ask, "Why aren't you in the women's car?" And even inside the women-only car, conflicts arise. Some women attack others' appearances. "You're so ugly you wouldn't even be at risk of harassment in the regular car." Others complain about perfume smells or loud conversations. There are even reports of physical fights in these spaces, like a case in Kyoto where 2 passengers slapped each other over a seat. That's why many Japanese women oppose these privileges. They know that, in the end, these benefits can backfire, creating more segregation than protection. Before the 1960s, Japanese women had a much lower status, treated as their husband's property. Marriage was a social contract, and divorce was almost unthinkable. They had no voice, neither in the family nor in society. But with the economic boom, they gained access to education and began fighting for equal rights, influenced by Western feminism, especially from the United States, where the civil rights movement was in full swing. Back then, women wanted real equality, like the right not to be discriminated against in the job market and to earn the same wages as men. This allowed many of them to achieve financial independence. Then came the economic bubble of the 1980s and early 1990s. Japan grew rapidly, and with that, salaries soared. With more money, consumption skyrocketed. And as the biggest consumers, women began gaining privileges. They not only had their own incomes, but also had men spending money on them, whether on dates or gifts. Whoever controls the economy controls the rules. It was at this moment that Japanese feminism stopped seeking equality and started demanding advantages. Romantic relationships began to be measured by money. If a man wanted to go out with a woman, he had to pay for dinners and give expensive gifts, jewelry, designer bags, trips. And even then, he often ended up as just a plan B. There was even a term for it: ATM boyfriend, a man used as a cash machine. Back then, it was common for women to date multiple men at once, keeping a main one and others as backups. This created a gender imbalance. Less wealthy men, or those unwilling to spend, were excluded from the dating market, while richer ones found themselves exploited. Even in the workplace, feminism reached extremes. If a boss sent too many emails to a female employee, he could be accused of harassment.
Guys, do you see how bad it is right now in Western society? So if you send too many emails to a female employee, she can basically go after the boss and say that, yeah, guys, And here's the thing, that women cannot live with us and they cannot live amongst themselves. Women don't want to be in women's only cars because women only cars are significantly more problematic and hazardous than cars that are shared with men. We know the nature and behaviors of women, but we don't want to accept this. Feminism in Japan went from, and I said this is what we now have in Western society, where women have special privileges, men have special punishments. Women are powerful victims, men are pathetic villains. It was never about equality. It was always about superiority. Okay. And now you're watching as everything is beginning to fall apart. And you have some of the hardest, the most hardcore feminists who are like, you know what? It's time for me to leave this whole feminism thing behind. I showed you this video earlier. I'll put it on again because it kind of just illustrates where feminism is, where you had this woman. She's a hardcore feminist. She went after her father, told many lies about him on social media. He's disowned her and removed her from his will. Evidently, dude was a millionaire and lost millions of dollars on child support. And she has destroyed everything. She's destroyed her relationship with him. And now she's basically like, after all the hardcore feminism, she's like, I need to go and get I'm only gonna like, I only want to date conservative men now. I'm a feminist, but yeah, it's just so nice having a man taking care of me and a man that's going to pay for everything. Yeah, it's time to get away from it.
Went on a date this week and I felt the feminism leaving my body. I live on the east side of LA, and if you don't know what that means, it's sort of like the artsier part of LA, It's people say it's like Brooklyn and New York. Like, so I go on dates with a lot of men and women who, live over here. There's always a negotiation about who pays, and that's great. I like to pay for people, all that. But what I will say is that I sort of fell into going on a date with the most guy's guy I've ever been on a date with.
I remember growing up in New York, and I had an Italian friend, and he lived over he lived in a place called Bensonhurst, I think it was, and that's an Italian neighborhood of Brooklyn, and it was a decent place, nothing special, but it was a decent place. And here's the crazy thing. Years ago, many years ago, like, I don't know, I haven't seen this guy in like 15 years. I saw the guy and he's like, I'm like, I go visit him because I wasn't living in New York anymore, but I went to go visit him. And I'm like, what the hell happened to your neighborhood, man? I don't remember this. Why are all these white liberals here? And no, like, I was like, this doesn't look like your neighborhood. This doesn't look like your neighborhood anymore. What are all these white people doing here? And of course, Italians are mostly white, but white liberals, like, the neighborhood had changed. And I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, it's okay. They're gonna leave eventually. And I'm like, what do you mean they're gonna leave? When they start having children, they're not gonna want to raise their children here. So they're gonna leave. They're gonna leave. Y'all, I can't believe that an Italian neighborhood got gentrified. What the living hell is going? Y'all, these white liberals, y'all. I only thought they did this stuff to the black areas. I never thought that I mean, Italians are technically white. I never thought that a white neighborhood could get gentrified by white people. Jesus Christ.
If a colleague offered coffee and insisted after a refusal, he risked the same. In a Tokyo company, a manager was fired after complimenting a subordinate's hairstyle.
And he's from West, Santa Monica. He's a bro, right? A guy's guy is usually not my type. Like, I cannot remember the last time that I went on a date with like a straight bro, you know what I'm saying? But it befell me. It befell me in an organic fashion. So I'm on this date with this guy, and the thing about a guy's guy is he's putting his card down. He's paying for everything. And I really it sort of activated something feral in me, I'm not gonna lie. We went to like another bar, and he was gonna go to the bathroom, so I was getting prepared to pay for our drinks because he's been paying all night. Of course I'm gonna pay for the next round. But as he's going to leave for the bathroom, he turns to me and he hands me his credit card and he goes, "Here's my card, get us whatever." It might be time for me to get away from all these, liberal snowflakes on the east side.
Liberal snowflakes on the east side. So, I mean, guys, this is a hardcore feminist, someone who threw her father under the bus for feminism, and now she's trying to walk away. Remember, walk it away? Guys, I told you women would say feminism got us everything that we wanted. Now let's fight it together. Feminism got us everything that we wanted. Now let's fight for one another. Don't miss out on the Men Walking Away community. Ready to take charge of your life? Join a dedicated space for men where you can learn how to reclaim your masculinity, travel the world on your terms, make money online, and attract the women you want. It's also a place to discuss whatever's on your mind. No judgment. Men Walking Away is the community to guide you toward the life you deserve. The community is linked in the description of the video. Join us.
She claimed it made her feel objectified. If a man tried to talk to a woman on the street and persisted after the first no, he could also be accused. In some cases, women weaponized this. They'd reject a man publicly, and if he reacted poorly, shout harassment to humiliate him. But this era of female privileges was sustained by women's purchasing power. When the economic bubble burst in 1991, everything collapsed. Consumption dropped, and companies started laying off employees. Even without gender discrimination, the market began valuing only the most productive, and women, who often worked fewer hours than men due to domestic responsibilities, lost ground. A University of Tokyo study showed that between 1992 and 2000, the female unemployment rate rose 15%, more than the male rate. The men who stayed were workaholics, with no time or money to pay for dinners and gifts. Many started living for work, sleeping in capsules, or even at the office. Suddenly, many Japanese women began dreaming of being housewives again.
You see, guys, this is what happens when you have a matriarchy. We now live under a matriarchy, and it only gets worse and worse and worse. A matriarchy is terrible for men and increasingly gets worse for women. And then when a matriarchy starts destroying the lives of women, what do women do? Women begin blaming the men and saying that they want to go and find a man who will take care of them and provide for them. Here's the guys, this is the craziest thing about women. Women cannot live with one another. They can be friends with each other, and even then, those friendships are problematic because while women may have lots of friends, most women have very few friends that they can actually rely upon and confide in. No one will ever do for a woman, very few women will ever do for a woman what the average man will do for a woman. Let me repeat this. Very few women will ever do for other women what the average man will do for a woman who he does not even know very well, just out of the kindness of his heart. That's the difference between male and female relationships. You want more proof? 30%, only around 30% of marriages between men end in divorce. Half of all marriages between men and women end in divorce. 75% of marriages between women and women end in divorce. What is the common denominator here? Clearly, the common denominator is the women. Okay, so men and women basically are struggling to get along. Women and women cannot get along. They cannot get along at all. Look at the female only cars in Japan. They are a train wreck. You can, if you put women by themselves, what ends up happening is they end up turning on each other. And then who ends up getting blamed? Men. Who has to step in and break them up? Men. Who has to basically keep them under control? Men. Who has to protect them from each other? Men. Who will ultimately be blamed for their behavior? Men. And then you wonder why in some countries, basically women do not enjoy the same kinds of privileges that they enjoy in other countries, where even their voices don't have the same type of reach that they would have in Western society. And it's because they do this. They create this. Guys, you have to remember, women operate on a completely different operating system than we do. Their brains do not work the same way that our brains work. There's a lot of you fools in the comment section who want to play the nice guy, or you want to say angry or wrong. I don't, if I'm wrong, then get the hell out of here. Get out of here. Go listen to some simp. But you have nowhere else to go. That's the thing. Many of the subscribers I have on my channel, they won't go. Many of the simps who are listening, I'm not attacking all of my subscribers, but the simps, you know exactly who you are because I deal with you each and every single day and I have to block you. Why are you still here? Why are you watching all of my videos just for the entertainment? I know I'm entertaining, but that's not the reason. It's because you have nowhere else to go. All right. You don't want to be around toxic people like yourself. You all right? You don't simping ain't easy. You're tired of suffering, but you're a horrible person. You make life miserable for everyone else. So what do? You come over here and you try to bring your BS here, even though you don't want to go into the hell that you've created out there. That just shows you how inhumane these good for nothing simps actually are.
They no longer wanted privileges. They just wanted a husband with a stable job to take care of the home. Surveys from the time showed that in 1995, 60% of women aged 25 to 35 said being a housewife was the ideal, a jump from the 30% of the previous decade. But a small group of radical feminists continued down this extreme path, promoting gender conflict. They organized protests, like the famous Silent March in 2010, where women walked through Tokyo streets with signs calling all men potential predators. They published online articles labeling marriage modern slavery and encouraged harassment reports even without evidence. And the men reacted. Now these feminists face an aggressive response. On forums like 2channel, Japanese men share tactics to protect themselves from false accusations, like recording all public interactions with women or avoiding eye contact on trains. Others go further, embracing the samurai duel as a form of preemptive self-defense. In an anonymous interview, a 32-year-old man said, "If I know she's going to lie about me, I'd rather the lie be about a fight than harassment."
Think about this very carefully, y'all. I told y'all that body cams were coming, and in this very near future, they're already there. You can always already pick these things up on TikTok, but they're going to become like someone's going to come out with something like if it's a clip right now, but some company like Google or Microsoft or Apple, someone's like like it's probably going to be related to augmented reality or something like that, and have like a bunch of benefits, right? It won't just be a clip that records your environment. It'll also be a clip that basically can do different things, collect data, blah, blah, blah. But people are going to be walking around with these clips everywhere they go. All right. And they're basically body cams. And everywhere a man goes, he's going to have his body cam on. Every interaction with a woman, he's going to have his body cam on. All right. Listen to me. Police officers are going to be frightened by the body cams as well. All right, they're going to walk because like if a police officer walks up to a man and the man has on his body cam and he's basically talking, there's no such thing. You're going to hear police officers like, "Oh, you need to turn that off. Turn off what, sir? Turn off your body cam." No, sir, I'm not turning it off. And if the police officer's like, "I'm going to put you on there. If you don't turn it off, I'm going to put you under arrest." Yeah, okay then, sir. I understand that. I'm not turning it off. I'll listen to you. I'll comply with everything that you say, but I am not turning off the body cam, sir. That's just there for me and your protection, sir. Okay? Why do you need to be protected? It's just there for both of our protection, sir. I'm completely compliant with everything that you say. If you're complying with me, then turn the body cam off. No, sir. I'm not going to turn that off. I will fully abide by everything. Am I being detained, sir? Yes, you're being detained. Okay, sir. Can I see some ID? Absolutely, sir. Here's the ID. Can you tell me the reason why? Do you have a problem with the police? No, sir. I do not have a problem with the police. So turn the body cam off. No, sir. I'm not turning it off. All right. It's gonna be a nightmare. It's gonna be an absolute nightmare. And modern women are gonna be in a lot of trouble. Women are gonna be in absolute amounts of trouble because everything is going to be recorded. Men are gonna record every single every single conversation that a man has with a woman is going to end up being recorded right now. All right. Like this is like, guys, women have completely obliterated the relationship between men and women. And the craziest thing is that they can't comprehend what they're doing. They can't comprehend that their actions are leading to men behaving this way. Their brains they're not capable of processing this information. They can't do it. They're not wired that way. They can gaslight you. They can tell you that they understand. They don't understand. They're not physically capable of understanding because our operating systems are so different. All right. Even if they could understand, they would not care. Do you guys comprehend it now? There's no talking, there's no negotiating, nothing. We are two, it's like we're almost two, we're the same species, but the way that our brains work, the way that our operating systems are so different. Our operating systems are so different, and even the way our biology works is so different that we could almost be two different distinct species because we are written in different languages. We are different operating systems written in different languages. It's like trying to run Windows applications on Linux. It's not going to happen. You have to have something like a compatibility layer, a translation layer before you can actually pull that off. And even then, there are going to be problems. Okay, so it's just not going to happen. It's like it's like trying to run applications designed for x86 on an ARM, on a processor that has an ARM to architecture. It's just not going to happen. You're going to need a compatibility layer, and even then, you're going to have problems. So you need to wake the hell up and realize modern women are completely different. All right. It's like I mean, even saying like Windows and Linux is a little difficult. All right. We're just very, very different. We operate very, very different. We think very, very different, and we are gaslit as men into believing that women think the way that we do when they absolutely do not.
At least that way. I'm out in a week. The problem is that, in the end, it's regular women who suffer the most, those who just want to live their lives normally. A 19-year-old student in Nagoya said she avoids crowded trains because she fears being targeted by a misunderstanding. If I bump into someone, he might hit me, and I can't defend myself. Another woman, a 40-year-old office worker, said she stopped using women-only cars because the other women judge me like I'm weak for being there. Feminism should fight for equal rights, not create divisions. When it began, the movement brought real progress. Voting rights in 1946, anti-discrimination laws in the workplace in 1985, and even the spread of daycare for working mothers. But extremism derailed this path. Today, men and women in Japan are trapped in a battle no one asked for, while society as a whole loses. Men and women helping each other. That's what really makes a society grow. Imagine a Japan where train cars were mixed but safe for everyone, where laws punished real harassers but protected the innocent, where men and women could talk without fear. That should be the goal.
That's it for today.
Yeah, it's not going to happen because women will never let it happen. Women basically want to keep all of the spoils that feminists got for them without any of the consequences. It's like they got their reward, but they don't want to get their punishment now. They sold their souls to the devil, but the devil delivered, gave them the devil over delivered. The devil over delivered, but now they don't want to. Now they don't want to pay up, and they think that they're going to. I said this a long time ago. Women got everything they wanted from Satan. Satan gave them everything that they had the contractual obligation for, and then some. And now they don't want to give. Now they don't want to face the consequences for what they've done. And they think that they're going to outrun the devil. They think they're going to beat the devil or try to convince men to save them from the devil. You've got to be kidding me. All right. Men are literally out here like just wait with it, like just like thinking like, come on, bro, you need to come and do your thing. Like, come get your girl, bro. Come get your girl. All right. You already basically kept your end of the bargain. Come get your girl. It's time to take them to hell. Time to take them to hell. Come get your girl. And modern women think that they're mental, the way that they are wired is like, oh, we'll just basically have men save us from the devil. The same people that you contracted against with the devil, you expect to save you from the devil. Yeah, because that's what men are for. Modern women are so far gone. They are so cooked. Guys, it is never coming back. Society is never coming back from this. Western society is so far gone. Guys, if you look at modern women, the body counts, the behavior, the mindset, they can never go, but they can never be a feminine. These are masculine individuals. They could never be a feminine. All right, these individuals can never be feminine. All right, they are masculines. And the way that Japanese society, American society, Westernized society is structured right now, the laws are not going to change. The state loves the way that things are. The state does not want men and women together. The state wants men and women divided. They want families divided because it means more money for them. Okay. They want men to continue paying massive amounts of taxes, and they want women to continue going after men so that they can and using so that they will extract wealth and resources from men and reallocate it towards the state. They don't want peace in society. They want chaos because chaos creates opportunity for money, for profit. It's during the most chaotic times that they can take advantage of people, desperation, frustration, and even humiliation. It's a dark, dark world that we live in. So, what are the consequences for women for having pushed men out of society, for having pushed men to the breaking point? The consequences are you're going to have a large number of women who are going to be in extraordinary states of poverty, destitution, and hardship into the future, and it's not going to change for them. It's only going to be a continually downhill path for them because of the miserable acts that they've committed. And men are not going to come to their rescue. There's only going to be further division and more men continuing to walk away from society and relationships and going where they're appreciated, going where they're celebrated. I want to go to Japan. I want to live in Japan, but I'm absolutely miserable. I'm feeling like just disgusted by the behavior that I'm seeing there. South Korea is not a whole lot better. It's like it's like the only answer for men right now is to get yourself a piece of land, stay on your land, and avoid society. And that's like the ultimate goal for most men is learning how to be alone and having like having a home for yourself, a piece of land. So like you just have a nice piece of land, stay on your land, and raise some animals, do some homesteading. A lot of men are into the homesteading thing. If you have a few good friends, if you're lucky enough to have one good friend in this world, take be be there for them. That's it. But otherwise, most men just learn how to be independent, learn how to be independent of society, learn how to survive without anyone else because we're men, and walk away. Or for a lot of guys, they're just going to go their own way, which they're basically away from relationship, dating, society, everything, and they're going to permanently abstain from all of that, separating themselves. Basically, there's a lot of men who are just going to go MGTOW, which is separating themselves socially, financially, economically from modern relationships and the state. And then you'll have the men walking, have just normal men walking away, who many will still live that life. And it's not that they are not open to having a relationship with a woman. The MGTOWs are not open to relationships with women, but you'll have a lot of men who are walking away, and it's not that they're not open to relationships with women, but they're not going to risk it, and they don't want to put up with the nonsense anymore. So they're just happier alone. Like, you guys don't understand the joy that I have with technology. Like, I love technology. I love my gaming. I love my gaming devices, right? I specifically love my gaming laptop. I talk about it a lot. Right, and I'm, like, looking into all kinds of other stuff, building multiple gaming rigs just for fun, customizing RGB, soldering, all of that stuff. I'll tell you all what's something funny. Like, I saw, like, there was, like, it was a curling iron, and someone's like, they posted a picture, and they're like, it's like, "What do you see?" And, like, by glance, I look at it, I'm like, "Is that a soldering iron?" And it turned out to be like a hair curler. It's just that, like, I mistook, like, the way that they photoshopped the picture, like the power area. It looked like it was just like pointed down, so it looked like the end of a soldering iron. But that's just like the difference between men and women. All right, women, they see curling iron, man see soldering iron, right? And it's like soldering iron is basically a tool that you use to connect components to a motherboard. So that's it's a tool that we use to connect components to a motherboard when you're doing things like PC repair. You can connect them, you can remove them, stuff like that. But it's just kind of crazy, like, how much fun I'm having just playing, like, just playing on my computer, tweaking it, making it faster, like, playing or messing around with the software, improving, upgrading the hardware, like learning about different things, like checking. It's much more pleasurable. It's it's much more pleasurable. Like, I mean, like, even for example, like even like memory speed, things like memory speed, solid state drive speed. Like, for example, I have an SSD in my laptop right now, right? I have an couple of SSDs actually. My laptop actually a generation 4, uses a Gen 4 SSD. Gen 4 SSDs have basically read and write speeds that can go around 75 7400 mega I think it's megabytes per second. But the thing is like with what do you call it? They also have Gen 5s, and Gen 5s are actually 70 are actually can go up to like 14,000. So you're like 14, why does that actually matter, Angry? Well, SSDs are a lot faster than conventional hard drives. So that means that your games could load a lot faster. So you end up having things like, everything can be a lot faster. So right now I'm on a Gen 4, and of course my laptop's not going to be compatible with a Gen 5. I'd have to upgrade entirely. But Gen 5s are like like pretty much twice the speed of Gen 4s. And I'm like, yeah, like why would I want to waste my time learning about women when I can spend my time learning about things that make me happy? Then like technology makes me happy, customizing things, doing hardware acceleration. Like right now, I have my like Edge. I use Edge on my laptop, and I have like it's blazing fast. Like you guys don't know, like I'm doing all kinds of psychotic things. Like I'm doing like a thing called parallel downloading right now, where you connect to multiple different connections simultaneously, and you're downloading downloading multiple things simultaneously using two different connections. And then it basically combines the data into one file. And I'm doing that right now so that I can download files faster when I'm downloading. That's an experimental free feature in Edge. And maybe it's in Chrome in general, but it's in Edge. And like most people wouldn't know about things like that, right? I have graphics acceleration on running in the not only in the browser, but I also have priority acceleration enabled in the on Windows, so that it will speed up the performance of my Edge, which then thereby speeds up the performance when I load up videos, go to websites, stuff like that. And I'm constantly looking for new ways for faster graphical performance, faster input, lower latency, all of this stuff. I'm crazy. I'm absolutely insane. Right? I mean, like all I do is tweak, undervolting, overclocking, messing with the fan curve, trying to improve the thermals. It's mad, like it's mad scientist level stuff. I'm literally doing mad every day. Like it's like, oh my gosh, this loaded in a millisecond, but I could do better than that. All right. Like a millisecond is still not like I need instantaneous. Like I need like teleportation level stuff. Right now, like that's borderline where my laptop almost is at, where it's like guys, like it's almost teleportation level speeds right now. Like that's how fast everything loads on my laptop. That's how fast videos load, pages load, and I'm still like, that took a second. That was like, all right, that's a fraction of like it took a fraction of a second, and I could still notice it. All right, still too slow, still too slow, bro. Why would a man want to waste time with dating and relationships when they can learn more? Why would you want to why do you even want to talk to girls when you can go do math? When you could sit in the library, just sit at home and enjoy math, and study different things and learn different things. And then you have entire communities of men that are having fun with this stuff, and you can compare, and you can basically and you can go hard over there as well. Like one thing I regret growing up is that I did not go to math competition and go battle. I know you're like, are you crazy, Angry? No, I'm not crazy. I wish I had like the confidence to go to math competitions and go battle the Asians. Like that's what life is about. Like that's what like go have fun. Women are just like, it's like, oh my gosh, I've got kitty. So what, bro? You've got kitty. There's plenty of women on Earth who have kitty. What's so special about the kitty? There's nothing. Like what more do you bring to the relationship other than kitty? What more do you want? The fact that you have to ask illustrates that you have nothing else to offer. I'm telling y'all, modern women are so cooked, and they don't even realize how cooked they are. Damn, I actually ended up going in much further on this video than I had planned to, but oh well. Women have pushed men to their breaking point, and men are now responding. Let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and share.
Nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto.